as I've told you probably now about 78 times, a lot of Just Democrats have already won their primaries, 26 overall, and 7 are very likely to win their general election and be in the House. So there's the 3 incumbents, Ro Khanna, Rahul Gurhalva, and Pramila Jayapal, who introduced the Medicare for All PAC today, which I think is a genius idea, wonderful idea. Yeah. So now you're looking at some of those people who won their primaries, and we talked about the incumbents Gurhalva and Ro Khanna on that list. We talked earlier about Kampa Najjar in the 50th. Sanjay Patel crushed in his race in Florida, unopposed. Ayanna Pressley with a great upset victory in Massachusetts. James Thompson, a wonderful candidate, was on a Friday Power panel with us recently in Kansas. Lisa Ring, great victory in the primaries in Georgia, and that would be another great win. Stephanie Rose Spalding in Colorado. A lot of these folks have been on Rebel headquarters. Please check out their interviews. I think you're gonna love these candidates. And then Audrey Denny in California's 1st District. She's one of my favorites. She's got excellent attitude, energy, strength, and that's a tough race to win in the 1st District, but I think she could do it. Another big race that would be great for progressives is Ben Jealous winning the governor's race in Maryland. Yes. He had a tough primary that he won convincingly, but he's going up against a relatively popular Republican governor in Maryland, and so that would be a huge win and probably at this point considered an upset win. And then you got Michigan, Matt Morgan. Robert Davidson is a real fighter. He's a doctor, and he got so sick of the healthcare in this country and the debacle that it is that he decided that he's going to run for office and support Medicare for all. So you'll love his campaign. Rashida Tlaib is going to Congress, and so is Ilhan Omar. They won respectively in Michigan, Conyers' old seat, and in Minnesota, Keith Ellison's old seat. Those are very blue seats, so great to have 2 strong Muslim women headed to Congress. And Jamie Schoolcraft with a guy who got outspent, I think, if I remember correctly, 4-1 in his primary, and beat his opponent with a stick. I think he might have beat him 2-1. So his opponent got Schoolcrafted. So don't sleep on Schoolcraft in Missouri's 7th District. Kara Eastman, one of the biggest primary upset victories of the season in Nebraska. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Never heard of her.
The biggest upset win in the primary season. I think earlier in the night, I might have accidentally said against Republican Joe Crowley. Of course, he was technically a Democrat. That was not intended, okay? And we don't have to beat up on Crowley anymore. He lost, obviously, and he was very gracious on the night of the loss. And then Jess King in Pennsylvania's 11th District, another strong progressive candidate. We're trying to see if we can cover more in the life of, in the day in the life of that Emma Vigeland does, that she did for Ocasio-Cortez and Welder and some others. She went to do it for Zephyr Teachout. I hope we can get her to places like Jess's district in the 11th District of Pennsylvania. Let's keep going. Lori Birch in Texas, Vanessa Adia, Adrienne Bell, otherwise known as the Liberty Bell, Lindsey Fagan, all excellent progressives in Texas. Look at that, with the exception of Randy Bryce, look at those strong women that are roaring all over the map in America, from Texas to Vermont to the state of Washington, right? And so those 4 in Texas were some of the earliest winners we had. A lot of them were upset victories. Winning in the heart of Texas would be fantastic. Christine Hallquist, another shocking victory in Vermont on the Democratic side for the governor's race. And now she stands an excellent chance of being the first transgender governor in the history of the country. So that would be amazing, fantastic. And Pramila Jayapal, incumbent who came out with the Medicare for All PAC today, a terrific idea. Sarah Smith with another upset victory. She it goes to the runoff, which is the top 2 is how it works in Washington. So it's 2 Democrats in the general election. It's Smith versus Smith. Adam Smith's the incumbent. Sarah Smith is the progressive Justice Democrat challenger. People didn't expect her to beat the Republican to make the runoff, but she's been challenging people's expectations for a long, long time. So she's in that race and she's in it to win. And then the last guy, of course, was Randy Bryce, Iron Stash. He's the guy who ran Paul Ryan out of Congress. Paul Ryan was afraid that he was going to lose that race. That was only a +5 a seat, which is in a blue wave likely to go to Democrats. And so Iron Stash might take the former Speaker of the House's seat. So now that is some progressive candidates for you. None of them take corporate PAC money. That's an uncorrupted blue wave. That's a crystal clear blue wave. And so even if half of them win, we got ourselves a caucus. Look, 7 are almost guaranteed right now. That's already a bit of a caucus.
Yeah.
So once you have a caucus that can make or break bills, that is power for real progressives. And now we're having a conversation. So that's what's on the line in November in the general election. And that's everything. So you've got these great Justice Democrats, and then you got great progressives like Beto O'Rourke in Texas and Andrew Gillum in Florida. Oof, beating Ted Cruz and DeSantis would be excellent. By the way, look, you got an incumbent like Bill Nelson, who I got no love for in Florida. But he's running against Rick Scott, one of the worst politicians in the country. Beating a guy like Rick Scott and Ted Cruz on the same night? Oof. I mean, that's a dream come true for progressives. Nice. And we're this close. Now we all got to push, especially for the uncorrupted candidates. You can find them at justdemocrats.com/candidates. They need your small dollar donations because they're not taking corporate money. They can't win without it. They need your volunteering more than anything else. Volunteers is exactly how these 26 won in the first place. So get out there and get in the fight. There's less than 2 months left. And also for those other great progressives that are backed by PCCC, Our Revolution, Working Families Party, Democracy for America, etc. So get in the fight, guys. And early November in 2018, we could have a glorious, glorious day for progressives.
And then in future election days, I mean, obviously it's great, once they go there, start passing bills and all that. But then, I mean, it's going to feel like 3 days from now, we're going to be doing the next series of primaries. You're going to have a bunch of them going and campaigning for candidates, endorsing them, helping to organize money for them from regular people. It's going to be great. It's not going to be the same experience where it was almost entirely up, just facing down the machine with almost no one behind you. You've got like Bernie Sanders and maybe Elizabeth Warren for some of them, and that's about it. But now you're gonna have an army with him. Not just us and not just you guys in terms of the funding, but also coming with the ability to go on the media. Like some of them are gonna be on CNN, MSNBC, actually spreading, I know this is crazy, but progressive ideas. And if they won't let them on there, we'll let them on our network every single day.
So we talk about the TYT Army a decent amount, and that's, a lot of you guys have done wonderful work on a lot of these campaigns, and just even participating in voting makes a giant difference, all the difference in the world. But what's cool is, so in the case of the Just Democrats, I guess that would be a Justice Army. And you guys are the Justice Army, but then you'd have a Justice Army inside the Congress. I'm picturing a call from a panicked Republican, or maybe even a panicked corporate Democrat going, where's the call coming from? It's inside the building. It looks like we already got 7 inside the building. It's 19 more to go, right? So up and at 'em, up and at 'em. Let's get in the fight and let's make a difference. And by the way, if you make that difference, it'll be the best feeling you ever had.
That's true.
Fulfillment, it's a hell of a drug.